Welcome to my channel, INTJ Island. Yesterday I did a video that I was not in my best state of mind. It triggered a bit of a discussion in the comment section that concerned me. The concern is that we have created a environment where only certain points of view are allowed to be accepted and discussed openly. And that should concern anybody that has any sense at all, in my opinion. You can't have science if you don't have discussion, if you don't have disagreements. There's hardly a point of view that ever came down the road, a theory, a hypothesis, that wasn't argued about. People disagreed completely. I mean, Einstein's theories were attacked from all different sides before they finally proved that, yeah, he was right. It is the disagreement as much as anything else that drives science forward, because it finds the holes in a theory. If somebody comes up with an idea and there's something wrong with it, by disagreements, testing things, making sure it's repeatable, verifiable. These are the kinds of things that make science sound. It can work miracles, but only because it is constantly open to attack. And we have people running around today that there's only one point of view, or saying something that's just imbecilic, that the science is settled. The science is never settled. By definition, science is never settled. There's no such thing as settled science. Sir Isaac Newton, he was a brilliant man, incredible genius. And he came up with some formulas and things that are good enough to put a man on the moon with. Excellent. I mean, amazing. But Einstein proved that there were certain aspects, when you pushed it to the limit, where he was wrong. But it was only because they were open to disagreement and discussing things that didn't just go along with the narrative. And it's totally terrifying to me that we've created an environment where we think that only one point of view is okay and all the other ones must be erased. This is like 1984 stuff, where only Big Brother's point of view was the one that people could accept. And no other one was even allowed. They just erased it. And that's what's going on today on many of the media platforms, where they just delete things, ban things, and say you can't even discuss them. That's scary. That should scare the heck out of anybody, because you cannot have freedom, you can't have science, you can't have anything that's valuable, really, unless you can allow people to say things that you disagree with. It's only by having 2 points of view, or 3, or 15, or whatever, coming together and looking for the flaws in any other point of view that you can actually make progress. That's how we managed to put a man on the moon, how we managed to create computers and the internet and all the other things. Most of medicine has been driven forward by people going outside the box, thinking outside the box, doing things that others thought wouldn't work. Washing hands, for goodness sake, originally was frowned upon by doctors. They'd go from patient to patient in a hospital without even washing their hands because they didn't understand about germs. That's how we learn things. People put forth ideas, hypotheses, and they're tested. Testing is effectively disagreement. It's allowing people to say things that you disagree with. Not allowing people to disagree is a scary, scary world to live in, because you're going to be locked into a box like a bunch of sheep marching down the corral pathways to the slaughterhouse. It's crazy. You got to have an open, free discussion of things. You're never going to be able to change your mind, or if you're on a wrong course, if you're going the wrong direction, the only way you can realize that is you're checking things. I remember a story a while back where a woman who was a police officer, she got to her door and she found it ajar. She pushes it open, ends up shooting the guy that's inside. She ends up going to prison because she was at the wrong apartment. Now, the first thing you should do if you see something like, oh, my door shouldn't be open, is to back up and say, am I at the right door? That should be the number one thing you think about. You're just walking on autopilot and you walk into somebody's house. That's a little bit crazy, but it's by evaluating your position that there's been times in my life where I've done things and all of a sudden I'm saying, this isn't right. So back up and look. You reevaluate where you're at. It is only by double checking, rechecking, having other people check. Any writer has to have somebody that proofreads it, to get another set of eyes on it. maybe several sets of eyes if possible, because they'll find mistakes. You know what you're trying to write. You know in your head, I'm trying to say this one thing. And so you read that when you're reading it back, when you're reading it yourself. Another set of eyes are going to look at that and say, well, I don't get what you were trying to say here. They don't know what you were trying to read. These other people who are proofreading your document, they have to actually be told what you're trying to say. You have to actually say it, not just think you're saying it. And so this is the way it is with ideas across the board. You need to get disagreements. You need to have people with contrary points of view. It's mandatory, if you're going to have a free society, that you're going to have people who don't agree with you. That's healthy. That's what you want. If you just censor them and ban them and erase them and delete them just because you disagree with them, you are never going to go anywhere. You're going to just sink into the abyss, ultimately, because that's a very unhealthy place to be. Anyway, I just felt that was something that needed to be said after some of the comments in the comment section. I want people to be free to think. And you can't be free to think if there's only one point of view that you can express. That's absurd. And it's dangerous. It's a very dark path to be on. All right, well, if you liked the video, please click like and subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.